Welcome to Creative Corner Podcast. Creative Corner Podcast is a podcast where we invite visual and oral creatives of the AUC. We have two special guests again. Why don't you introduce them for me? Because
okay, first off,
you're from Morehouse, and I hear they're from Morehouse too.
I just feel the need real quick. This podcast, the Creative Corner Podcast, is hosted by
Chris from Clark.
Okay. Wow, he is making this so classist right now.
I'm so dead.
Okay. I am Anthony J. the Wolf Hunter. I am a junior finance major over at Morehouse College. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. And our two guests today, my guy Justin Upshaw, or Just Out Downshaw on Instagram, and then my guy Kollin Washington. And we're about to get into this with talking about filmmaking, talking about videography, and talking about the vision. And actually, we're going to be talking to you guys a little bit about some organizations that we have on campus outside of just the Creative Corner Podcast. So, can't wait for us to get into it. Justin, could you please introduce yourself for the people real quick? Just look right into the camera.
He brought his Morehouse sweater too.
Oh
yeah,
nice.
Nice.
Flash the merch real quick. Flash the merch real quick.
Gotta rep the set.
Superman knows.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
What's good, y'all? My name's Justin Upshaw. I'm a junior cinema, television, and emerging media studies major from Washington, D.C. I serve as the president for the Morehouse Filmmakers Association and the producer for arts and entertainment for the Maroon Tiger.
Snaps. We need snaps. We need snaps. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, Justin, for coming. Yeah, I definitely met you kind of like my first few weeks here because I'm new. I'm from San Diego, and I got here, and the first thing I was like, where are all the organizations? And then I realized, like, wait, I can go to Morehouse. I can go to Spelman and go check them out. And I was like, where's the film organizations at? And then I came through. Justin was there, had a great amount of people, always, like, trying to get interested in film, and he's been doing a great job just hosting meetings for people who are interested in film. And Morehouse Filmmaker Association, that is open to all AUC, correct?
Correct. So okay. I think we have 67 members in the group me. I think we average maybe close to 15 to 20 people per meeting.
Somewhere around there.
But yeah, we have people from Clark, people from Spelman, and I think the majority are from Morehouse, but we take everyone and anyone who's just interested in film storytelling. So.
That's where we met. That's where we met in MFA.
Definitely. How is it, running around trying to get things done for Morehouse Filmmakers Association?
I mean, it's it's a struggle to get anything done at Morehouse. So I think just for me, like, coming up with the plans for MFA, it was easier in the beginning. I think it's just progressively kind of gotten harder as the semesters just kind of caved in on me. I think for the last meeting, I didn't really come up with the plan until maybe like 10, 20 minutes before. But it was still like a really good meeting. But I think also it's just really taught me a lot about leadership and my strengths and my weaknesses in my leadership. So it's been a very interesting first semester being the president of the Film Association.
Yeah. So you took it up after Solomon Enders graduated, and as I'm gonna actually speak on what you just said. Like, it's been harder as the semester has progressed. When we first started the semester off, we were meeting every week, and so do you feel like it's easier to have the constant reinforcement of, oh, this week we got this week we got this week we got this, instead of having 2 weeks build up to get to one? You kind of forget about it for a week. Like, you feel that like next semester we might go back to the weekly, or are we gonna stay like bi-weekly?
All right, so just to make sure, your first question was, did I find it easier just kind of having it be like weekly?
Yeah.
I think it's really a mix of both, because I had a lot more time on my hands in the beginning of the semester to the point where I could, go week by week for MFA. But now, just that the assignments have really just started to pack on, I think I needed just a little more time and space to run the meetings efficiently. But I think in the future, I'm going to aim for weekly again because I think we had built a lot of good momentum.
Yeah.
And as helpful as it was to just kind of go bi-weekly, I think that we can really push for the weekly meetings. And I know that there were some people who were like, oh, dang, like I really missed MFA this week as soon as we were going to the bi-weekly schedule. So I think that's another thing that I've been proud of, that people actually really want to come to the meetings,
right.
because beforehand it just kind of seemed like, I don't know, there were only like a few amount of people who would come, and then they didn't really seem to be like super interested in MFA. So now that there are a lot of people who are really interested in MFA and showing out, I'm proud of that fact. So
okay. So real quick before we move into any other stuff, where does when and where does MFA meet? Just so that people know.
Also,
after they listen to this, we gonna need people to start coming through. So go ahead, tell us where we meet normally, and then the secondary room.
So normally we meet on Thursdays at 7:00 or between 7 to 7:30. I kind of just decide that week what it'll be, but we meet in Wheeler 216, which if you're coming from Spelman, it's going to be the first building on the left when you walk onto Brown Street. And then if you're coming from Clark, it'll be the first or the last building on the right as you kind of exit Brown Street. And so the secondary room is Brawley 001, which is just the complete opposite
it's just
side
across
of the street.
It's just across Brown Street.
Exactly.
In the little corner of the hallway, the first floor.
Exactly.
Dope.
What could students expect? Because I know this semester now is coming to a close. I'm sure there's a few things that you were able to check off your list. What are the things that you could maybe say that you have planned for maybe next semester for MFA?
So I think a lot of the plans that I had for this semester had to get pushed back because I just wasn't able to get everything together for, just this semester. So what I want to start doing is I want to have film screenings, just kind of going on weekly. Hopefully get the movie list that we want to show over the break, and then just start executing on that. Now that we have an advisor, so we should be able to start doing that.
Nice.
Want to make a association short film. So one of my next goals is to really hammer in on the writing aspect of MFA and just start the process of pre-production for that, just getting the script together and then all the necessary parts, and then we'll see where that goes. What else can I say that we plan to do? Just hopefully we can get more people shooting on campus. I think that's just that's the overall goal that I have, is just to have more people, we need PAs for this, that, and the fourth. We got, 4 short films shooting on campus right now. Just trying to get that level of production, I think, is the trajectory that I want. I don't know if it's going to be, this semester or first semester senior year, but hopefully by the time I graduate, we'll be getting people to really start producing stuff on campus.
I can dig it.
Definitely. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
So last question that I have for MFA is, what's the ultimate mission for MFA?
What's the ultimate mission? I think the ultimate mission is just to get everyone to become a strong storyteller, or just start to build, get those foundations built of strong storytelling, and to have everyone get a portfolio that they can, show to internships, send out to festivals. And then, I think for me, what I would want to see from MFA in the future, I don't know when, but I would love to see at one point, people are able to make a feature.
Right.
That would be very tough. So
We need to go hard.
That's
where I want it to
Let's
be.
go hard.
So,
yes.
I don't know if it'll be while I'm still here, but that's where I want it to be.
I can dig it.
So for those for you watching from the AUC, reach out to Justin, because he has got the platform. And you said that you had to push back a few things because, studies, definitely. I'm guessing you're taking some film classes right now. Why don't you talk a little bit about your personal projects, maybe, that you have developing, or maybe the things that you got under your belt already, How is your filmmaker experience have been in terms of your projects?
So we're talking about projects like while the semester is going on, / like
just any projects, man. Like
any
what
projects?
What is your experience working as a film director, film producer, even talent? What is that?
I can ask.
Like?
How about that film? Because I checked out your Instagram and I watched it. I watched your film. Yeah, it was like a party setting.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the title of it.
L. Yeah, just the letter.
Why don't you tell me about that? How did you get there? To the point where you were able to show it to people, and people will have the chance to watch it now.
So, I think just during the pandemic, I had a lot of time on my hands, and I've kind of adopted the philosophy that there is no such thing as free time.
Yeah.
Like, we spend every single second, and so at some point, I couldn't even really tell you, but I was just watching movies every day. Like, that was sort of my my drive and my discipline was like, all right, I'm gonna watch a film every day for like however long. And I did that as a way to kind of shield me from writing. Like, I knew I needed to write and to learn how to write, get better at writing. But there was just a lack of discipline for me in doing that. So I was just sticking to watching films. But the other thing is I also watch a ton of YouTube. Like, just a lot of informational videos.
YouTube University right there.
Yeah, video essays, like all that stuff, master classes. And I had a conversation with my old professor, and he was just really encouraging me to write. And I was just talking to my mentor. He was also really encouraging me to write. And I found myself in, I don't know, maybe late May, early June. And I had applied for this internship. I didn't end up getting it. And I was on the verge of, I'm about to finish this. Like, I'm going to be done with this summer and not have anything done. I'm about to get out of the pandemic and go back to Morehouse and have absolutely nothing to show for it. And so I wouldn't say I panicked, but I think I really just I bunkered down, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do something this summer. Like, I can't just let this summer go by. And so one of the things that my mentor was always telling me when it comes to writing was just look introspectively. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to start brainstorming some ideas, and we'll go from there. And so I was doing my best to look introspectively, because at that point, I don't know, I had tried looking introspectively before. Nothing really came out of it. But it was just something where, I don't know, that summer, I don't know, my brainstorming, it was really working. Like, my creativity was really flowing. And so I was just thinking about how lonely I felt during the pandemic, and how I've kind of tried to either ignore my loneliness or, seek out, other people to hang out with. But then even when I did that, I would still feel really lonely in those sort of settings. And so that's kind of initially how the short film idea came about. I think I rewrote the script maybe 5 times.
5.
Yeah, 5 times.
It's like that. It's like that, though.
Yeah, and so I think I wanted to rewrite it at least one more time. But at that point, the people that I had in mind for actors, they were some of them were about to go for the summer, because my boy, he goes to NYU, so he's gonna travel back up to New York. And so I was like, okay, I have little over a week to create a shot list. I don't even think I storyboarded at all. So I had a little less than a week to create a shot list, find the visual aesthetic for my film, come up with a small crew, get extras, and props.
Yeah.
So I got the shot list done. Probably could have been a little more thorough with it, but I think I had maybe like, I don't know, 100 so shots, 120 something. I was able to find a small little crew. I went to a party. Shouldn't have done that during a pandemic, but I went to a party and I met this girl who was also interested in film. So she goes to the new school, and I just invited her to be my crew, and so she was like, "All right, cool." She said she wanted to be cinematographer. I was like, "All right, yeah, you can be my DP." And so met some other people. Asked them, "Yo, you trying to be crew on my short film?" They're like, "Oh yeah, cool."
Damn.
We love volunteers.
It was a quick turnaround.
Very, very quick.
Okay.
And so I had been used to kind of shooting really quickly because in high school I took maybe like 3 years of film classes, all on like really quick deadlines, turnaround time, all that stuff. But my mentor was telling me that, you should, really take your time, with making this film. And so I was like, nah, it'll be fine. Like, I can do it, da-da-da. And so we started shooting, like that Friday with no prep time. I think I gave my actors the script maybe like a couple weeks in advance. They didn't really know their lines, so we were like doing rehearsals during it, and we shot I think we ended up shooting maybe like we had finished like 60 shots off of the list in one day, but we ended that first day at 3 a.m.
So how many hours were you? How many hours would you shoot in a day? Because I pulled off some 14-hour shoots with guys. So.
Oh my god!
It was more like 6 or 7, but we were starting really late. So we started at that first day. I think we started at 6 in the afternoon, and then went till 2 to 3 in the morning.
You better than me.
Wow.
Right.
You better than me.
Yeah. And so just in that short amount of time, I was in my head, I'm like, I got some really good shots, but I don't know how this is gonna turn out, but I can't stop now, right? And so the next day, I uploaded all the shots onto my computer, and my SD card does this weird thing where it'll move over footage to another file. And so
if you record for too long.
Right. And so I put my SD card back in. I'm like, all right, I gotta clear it. I cleared it. I lost a whole scene.
Oof.
And so I had to tell my casting crew, I'm like, all right, look, we gotta reshoot this. We just gotta reshoot this. We'll add it on, right?
Dang.
And they were like, all right, cool. And I was like, thank you.
All right,
because
cool, yes.
yeah, because we can't really do that much. And so we started pretty late. I think we started at 9 or 10ish. Didn't finish till 2, 3 in the morning again. And
now, why is it that we're shooting really late at night? It's because it takes place all at night.
Well,
right?
it takes place at night, but then some of my cast they have jobs,
right?
And so they couldn't really get off until night.
All right.
And so we were really pushing through, but one thing about me is I'm just I'm a really gung ho person. I'm just all right, we're here to do this. Let's get it done.
Yeah.
How do you feel now in retrospect that you've completed it now? Because this is something that people can stream, right?
Yeah.
So,
I feel good about it. I just think that it's not at the level that I know I can be at.
Yeah.
And so that was probably my biggest, issue. But I can say that I one, finish the short film, but two, like, I use it as kind of fuel for like, all right, I need to keep going so I can like really like get down and make a short film that like translates from my vision to the screen. And so, yeah.
Where can we watch that?
Huh? Oh, YouTube. My YouTube is Just Out Films. So it's also, if y'all follow me on Instagram, Just Out Downshaw, it's in my bio. But I think some of the big takeaways for me was just like, one, I'm definitely not as good as a director as I can be when it comes to communicating with my actors. Like, that was something that I was really struggling with because I'm not really used to it. Even though I used to act when I was like in elementary school, but like I haven't really been in that space for such a long time. Like, I don't really know how to do that. And so that's something that I'm, actively trying to work on and practice. And so I have some ideas of what I want to do before I get back on another set to direct. But then the other thing was just like, yeah, I need to like take my time to like really make something quality.
Like prep time.
Like all
take
that.
Take time to prep, do read through, script breakdowns, talk to the actors about the character.
Exactly.
Because we're getting into the nitty gritty of what it's like to make non-budget films as students who are working now and who are attending classes. So then you're like, you double up how much time we're actually busy, and now we have like this small.
Exactly.
So it's important to know we got to make sure we know how to budget our time well, wisely.
Exactly.
Go ahead and continue.
Oh yeah, I mean, excuse me, like that. I mean, just that part. Like, I think just finding that like happy medium of like a tight deadline, but like it's still enough time.
Right.
To get everything together, have everyone on the same page, and also just sound. Like
the audio. Audio will make or break your freaking film.
It's so important, and like I don't know, just for me, I've kind of lost my love of editing by myself. Like
I haven't. I love it.
I can't edit like my own films alone because like
I fall asleep.
Oh yeah, you definitely need someone though for sure. You always need a second opinion, a third, a fourth, a fifth.
And I was telling during a meeting with the association, I was just telling them, I was like, look, you can seek out perfection, but like at some point that might just harm your project.
Yeah.
Like, and I was listening just to another YouTube video about how this actress, she was acting in like USC films, AFI films, and the films wouldn't get made because the students, they were like seeking perfection, and then when it wasn't what they wanted, they just clipped the project. So, I've really fallen out of love with editing, just in general.
Did you edit this film that you came out with?
I did, and I nearly hated like every second of it.
Did you use Adobe?
I did.
Adobe sponsor us.
I'm so dead.
What other roles did you have in this film as well?
So I was the cinematographer because it was just one of those things where it's like, so I have like a whole bunch of gear back home that I was using, but like I didn't have the time to like really like get one of my crew members who I want to be a cinematographer to like get her to like on pace with me, because like I said, I'm just like gung ho, and that also it affected the actors because we wouldn't really like take breaks because I'm like, look, I'm trying to get y'all out of here as soon as possible
so you can get some rest.
Exactly. So
you know
exactly
and
right. But like, gotta take breaks on set. And I was like, just doing a whole bunch of stuff. But like, I was the director, writer, producer, cinematographer, editor.
Damn, how big was your cast and crew?
It was maybe like 2-3 people.
Cast and crew?
Oh wait, cast and crew. Besides the extras, like maybe like 5. It really wasn't that big.
Okay.
So it was maybe like 5 6 at the most. But like sometimes I would be the camera operator. Sometimes I would be, the sound guy.
It's like that.
Yeah.
It's like that, though.
It really is. Well, you did say you pick up some inspiration over the summer. That's how you wrote the script.
Exactly.
What kind of films do you feel inspired to kind of make your next film? What were some of those films during the summer that you really liked, and that
Please say
it comes,
films.
it really like
Please say
hits
Akira
you,
Kurosawa.
something that you could take away? What were those films during the summer?
During the summer, I actually still haven't seen an Akira Kurosawa.
Ay, Dios.
Me either. He has to put me on. You got to put me on.
God. Okay, Amazon.
Ikaru is one of his, right?
I believe so. I haven't seen that one.
So, I think my first one is probably going to be Seven Samurai. So I'll let you know when I watch it.
Okay, and then watch Ron.
Wrong?
Yeah, Ron.
I got you.
R-A-N.
Films that haven't just specifically over the summer?
Yeah, definitely. This summer, and you think to kind of pick up some of that stuff you learned from those films to your upcoming film.
All right, so I know previously, I think AJ, you asked me about my projects.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'll move into that one after. But I think the one that I can say for sure that inspired me and my screenplay for my class, The Killing by Stanley Kubrick. I think it was his 3rd or 4th film.
I don't know.
I'm dead.
He's got so many though. He's a perfect.
He has like 14. It's not too much.
Wow.
He's got like 14.
Okay.
He's in it though.
But so, it's like 1956. 120 minutes. It's like an hour and 20 minutes. Like really cool, really tight, great acting, cinematography.
I need to watch The Killing.
It's on Amazon Prime for free, or at least it was when I watched it. So
I'll be bootlegging my movies.
You do.
If it ain't on Hulu, if it ain't on Showtime, and if the homie don't have the streaming services, I'm a bootleg that.
I'm dead.
He does not.
I can't jig with
He does
Hulu.
not publicly endorse bootlegging films.
I can't.
I don't publicly endorse it though.
He does not publicly endorse.
I can't jig with Hulu, bro. I can't even lie.
Hulu made me angry yesterday.
Yeah, I can't.
It didn't work.
What?
Continue though.
Dang, what other film? I mean, I watched Ocean's 11,
Okay.
Steven Soderbergh's film for the first time over the summer. That was great. I guess I wouldn't say that has kind of like inspired my film or my screenplay, but it's it's in the same realm. Like it's a crime heist type film.
I'm definitely gonna look into those films, especially The Killing. The Killing.
The Killing for
Yeah.
sure. You can't miss Kubrick.
Yeah. So on our last part of our interview, you said that, Wolf asked you about your previous work.
Yeah, like what? How do you feel? Because I want to change it up just a little bit. We running short on time. How do you feel like you've progressed from the first short film to maybe the second, the third? Like, how do you feel like that progression is? Do you feel like you went up? You've improved steadily. Do you feel like you had highs and lows? How's that progression been going through all of your short film?
I think, my bad. I think just in general, I've gone from. I think it's just been like a steady increase. I think if you look at my work, like my short film before L, I think it might seem like a really like steep jump, because I hadn't really made anything besides that other short film which I made in like March 2020, which was it maybe took like 20, not even 20, maybe like an hour or two to film, and I made it for MFA. So, and then before that, I mean, I just had like high school projects, but like in general, I think I've just really gone from like strength to strength, and now that I'm like really focusing also on my writing, like that's improved a lot.
Okay.
Just want to say this: no first draft is going to be good. So
No first draft. You will
especially
have
at
to
this
rewrite
age.
it. You will
Right.
have to rewrite it.
So
That's
yeah.
true.
So before we get out of here, what are your tips to these young filmmakers out here? What's like the top tip or top 2 tips that you have for them?
Keep it a one. One
Or
tip.
one. Let's do one.
One.
What's the one tip? Like, what's the first one that comes to
They
your head?
gotta know.
That they gotta know?
All right, this is gonna be a two-parter. Watch foreign films and watch older films.
To the point.
Mindset and perspective are very important. I think that's probably like you need to be able to see other things to inspire the art. Like everything you're not gonna get it all from up here.
Exactly.
That puts too much pressure on the creative. You have to explore, see other things, get the inspiration, get reference, figure out how they did it, and then you do it yourself. I like it.
He didn't need any more words, so watch old films and watch foreign films.
Yes.
Find out for
Akira
yourself
Kurosawa.
why.
Akira Kurosawa.
They do
Start
it.
with him.
They do it differently.
They really do.
American cinema it's a whole other ball
commercial.
game. You know,
It's formulaic because it's commercial.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we gotta get out of here.
Thank you so much, Justin, for coming by, for speaking some truth to the people of AUC.
I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
You look so good in this jacket.
I'm
gonna take it
dead.
off.
I'm so dead.
Make sure to check him out on his Instagram.
Yes.
We're gonna
Just
go to
out
a
Downshaw, right?
Yeah.
just out Downshaw because it's just
Downshaw.
in. So just out Downshaw.
Yep.
His name is Justin Upshaw. Just switch the in with an out.
We put it on the
we're
his
gonna put
lower
it in
third,
there.
so
I'm
it'll
so
be
dead.
there.
This
Thank you
is
so
fun.
much.
This was fun, man.
We're gonna take a quick music break. It's your turn
It's my
to
turn.
choose a song.
Ooh.
What song should we go for the music break?
Heck yeah, An Evening with Silk Sonic just came out. We got to put Smoking Out the Window up in there.
All right.
Yeah.
What song? Smoking Out the Window.
Smoking Out the Window.
Smoking Out the Window upcoming
Smoking out
up.
the window.
We'll be right back.
Wait a minute, this love started off so tender, so sweet. But now she got me
Smoking out the window. Must have spent 45,000 up in Tiffany's. Oh no! Got a badass kids running around my whole crib like it's Chuck E. Cheese. Whoa. Put me in the jam with an X-Man in the UFC. Can't believe it. I'm in disbelief. This bitch got me paying her rent, paying for trips, diamonds on her neck, diamonds on her wrist, and here I am all alone. I'm so cold, I'm so cold. You got me out here. Smoking out the window. Smoking out the window. Singing, how could she do this to me? How could she do this to me? Oh, I thought that girl belonged to only me. But I was wrong, 'cause she belonged to everybody. Ooh. Just the other night, she was gripping on me tight, screaming Hercules. Got me in the club looking for a new love, someone help me please. Baby, why you doing this? Why you doing this to me, girl? Not to be dramatic, but I wanna die. This bitch got me paying her rent, paying for trips, diamonds on her neck, diamonds on her wrist, and here I am all alone. I'm so cold, I'm so cold. You got me out here. Smoking out the window of the Benzo. Singing, how could she do this to me? How could you do this? Oh, I thought that girl belonged to one thing for sure. But I was wrong. She belonged to everybody. Yes, she belonged to everybody. That she
We're back.
We are back.
We are back.
Smoking out the window.
I don't think I've listened to it completely.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah,
He
I mean, I
hasn't-
know
he hasn't
it's
watched
good.
Akira Kurosawa, and he hasn't listened to An Evening with Silk Sonic.
No, I've heard of some songs.
I haven't listened to much Silk Sonic either. I'm gonna keep it a bean with y'all.
I'm one of those people where like if people start hyping stuff up and like people like just like throw it in my face like dude this that and that, I'm like I start to lose interest.
But they've been releasing music since March this year.
No,
See,
I'm gonna
my
check.
thing
I'm gonna
was-
tune in.
I thought they had an album out. And like that kind of made me mad when I just saw that they just put out like single after single after single, and I was like, dude, just drop an album. I'm just waiting for the project because I want to listen to it in like one
Oh,
song.
the project is out.
I'm sorry.
The project is out.
Didn't all the singles just become the album?
No, there were like 4 singles, and then it was 3, and then it was 3 songs extra that they added in there.
Oh, okay.
That they put in the album. It's
Yeah,
like
whatever.
7
Who
songs.
cares? That's music. We're here for film, video.
Yes.
Tell me about our next guest, Wolf.
We got Kollin. Your last name is Washington, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I saw it on your portfolio website or whatever, and I was like, oh, his last name is Washington.
Yeah.
So we have Kollin Washington in the building, the photographer, the videographer, the filmmaker,
Does that
member
make
of
you-
MFA also, by the way.
Does that make you a video editor too if you're a videographer?
I edit videos from time to
I'm
time.
Okay.
hiring, I'm
I
hiring him.
like that you put it that way.
I'm hiring him right now, actually.
Ooh.
My 21st is coming up. We need a videographer for my birthday. So he's
I
taking
did
the video
RSVP.
comp. You did?
Yeah.
So I got him for the videography, and he's also going to be editing as well.
That's what's up.
Yes.
That's what's up.
You
Welcome,
getting this money
Kollin.
now.
Welcome, Kollin.
Working on
You're
it.
getting this money.
Working on it.
But so, please introduce yourself to the people. Let them know who you are. Let them know where they can find you and contact you, hire you.
Well, like you said, my name's Kollin Washington. The K, Ollin. Yeah, I'm a photographer, videographer, filmmaker, student at Morehouse, pre-CTEMS major. My Instagram is underscore Kollin underscore Kollin. Website is KollinWashingtonPhotography.com. You could find all my photos, just about all of them. My prints, pricing, that sort of thing. And on the first slide, you'll see like my latest short film called which one did I put up there?
Dang.
I Dream of Paradise. Yeah, my last.
Ooh,
my
okay.
last one.
That's a
I'm gonna
nice
look into
title.
that.
I Dream of
I still
Paradise.
haven't seen it.
So-
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
I actually would want to ask you on that question. So, so we can just get you closer to the mic so we can pick you up. The short film that you made.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about that? Because I have not gotten a chance to see that.
So, it was very interesting because I kind of just did it on a whim. So,
As you should. I'm just kidding.
so I had the idea, but I just wasn't sure how I was gonna execute it. Well, I'll just leave y'all gotta watch it. But
Give me the log line.
the log line. So it's basically. Wait, am I still like in the? Is the audio better? Okay. So
Say it with your chest.
it's like I said, it's a short film about me going through like different like stages of time, and it's like I don't know, it's pretty weird. It's like kind of showing like the good time, like me having like a really good time and like a really bad time. I know this is like a very bad example, but like you just have to watch it. Like I said, it's on my YouTube channel as well. I didn't even say that. The first of many films. Yeah, so
That's what it's called? The first of many films?
yes.
Okay.
And so yeah, this is definitely like one of my like cleaner ones to date. Like the ones I've made prior to it were like very like shoddy. Like there were a lot of things that I could have cleaned up in that, but yeah. But like I was saying about like how it happened, so we were going on vacation, like my family, we were all going on vacation. We were going to Santa Barbara. And we were there for about like 8 days, and then like the second day into the trip, I was like, I got it. And so I just went right into film. Like, I didn't write down anything because it was a silent film. So I didn't write down anything. I knew how I wanted it to look. And so, like, day 2 through 8, I just spent time, like, just, like, getting my shots correct, that sort of thing. And then I did the other portion of the movie at home, which was, like, shot in my room. And, yeah, it was, like, for something to be like as cleaned up as it was compared to like my previous work, it was definitely done like really quick. So
Nice.
yeah.
So like, how have you seen your progression over your? Do you feel like you've had like you started off at a low or like a neutral? You felt like okay, this has, or do you think it's trash? Do you think you went straight up and then then the next one was just really bad, or have you had a steady incline in your progression?
I've had a steady incline. But, like, it was an incline in certain areas. So, for this last one, I was definitely trying to, like, hone in on, like, color grading and, like, editing. And so, because I was looking at other movies like, was it, like, La La Land, and just seeing how, like, the colors are, like, so vibrant.
Yeah.
And I was just, like, that helps to tell the story as well. And I was just, like, really zoning in on that part for this movie. But, like, the last one I did, it was called Takeout, or the one I did before that, called Takeout. I actually had to play, like, 3 characters. I had 3 characters, like, set up in my mind, but I didn't know anybody who else, like, could act. Okay. So I was like, you know what, I'll just do it. So I focused...
Eddie Murphy.
So I was just...
Yeah.
That one, I focused more on dialogue and just, like... kind of like voice, like kind of changing my voice, that sort of thing. And yeah, so there's always been like a certain area that I've like kind of gone into that I knew I wanted to improve like before making it. So yeah,
that's interesting. So your filmmaking process stems from an interest in improving or exploring your skill set, really. Would you say that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's important. For everybody watching, make sure, don't just make movies because you want to. Make movies because you want to learn as well. Educate yourself. Improve your skill level.
I feel that, though.
Figure out your strengths.
I feel it. Like, I mean, it's not because it would be like a creative decision, but like out of necessity, right?
Yeah, and just like me trying to be like more well-rounded. And just trying to figure out things that I like. So, like, with my film class, like, I wasn't aware, like, how much I enjoyed sound design. Like, I knew it was cool. I knew it was crucial to a movie. But, like, and that was another thing that I, like, was focusing more on as opposed to, like, the previous ones I've made was, like, the sound design as well. Because it's like I said, it was a silent film. So, like, I knew that, you know, not only the music had to be right, but, like, my actions, they had to make sense. So, like, I'm out here, like, searching through the internet or, like, YouTube trying to find, like, there was a scene where I was brushing my teeth, so I had to, like, find, you know, a sound where the sink turned on or, like, the shower turned on or, like,
Foley.
the brushing. Yeah, that's what
you needed sound Foley to kind of supplement.
And I had no idea I liked that as much as I did until, like, I believe was it last week or 2 weeks ago? It was either last week or 2 weeks ago. My film teacher brought that up. He was like, "Yeah, so those guys who like crack celery sticks in order to like simulate like bones breaking. Yeah, I really like that. So that was something I wanted to work on.
You go to Morehouse. Does Morehouse like have a Foley studio?
I'm not exactly sure. I'm still doing a lot of gen ed stuff, so like I haven't really tapped into the film as much as I wanted to. But so a lot of the stuff I've learned is just like on my own time. So.
Just like that.
If Morehouse does not, Clark actually has one right here. Yeah, I've never seen anyone like. I haven't stepped in there personally, but it looks cool. Like I just want to see what's in there.
It's just stuff like. You'd be surprised.
Chains, glass, hammers.
That's so cool.
Apples, celery.
Yeah. I gotta. I'm looking into. a short film to shoot in the next semester, and it's good to know someone who really likes sound design.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep that in mind.
So what exactly? Because you have a lot of interests. Are you that kind of director that wants to know how to do everything, or what do you see your future in film? What are you actually trying to do?
See, it's very interesting.
Get closer to the mic, please.
Oh shucks.
Yeah.
So
if anything, move it. Move the.
Just pull the mic. You
Oh,
can pull
shit.
the mic towards
got you. So like right here.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
What's up? Is that fire?
We
All right,
good.
Cool. I've always wanted to be a director, so like, didn't grow up watching them, but I remember my sophomore year of high school, I watched Pulp Fiction for like the first time, and I was like, okay, whatever this guy did, I want to do it. Like, I want everything. I want the good and the bad. Like, I want everything that comes with it, because he did a fantastic job. But as I started like watching more stuff, or like watching more like movies and TV shows, I really like cinematography.
Yeah.
And like just camera movement and camera placement and that sort of thing. So I forgot the cinematographer's name. That's gonna bother me. But the director, Vince Gilligan, he did Breaking Bad and my favorite show, Better Call Saul.
Oh.
Like
Yes.
the cinematography, like the way he used like wide angle lenses and stuff, like that blew my mind.
Yes.
And I wanted to tap into that, like really, yeah.
Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad go in.
Yeah.
Like, the cinematography. If you guys haven't checked out Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, you are missing out. Vince Gilligan should put you in that show and put you out of your misery, because
Breaking Bad is
you
definitely
need to
binge watchable.
See this stuff.
And it's so crazy because it's such a big factor in telling the story.
Yes.
It's like, it's crazy. Like, if you really pay attention to what's not being said and only what's like seen, it's a beautiful thing.
This speaks to the psychology of filmmaking, right? Like, we have color theory, but then we also there is a science behind the angles and the aspect ratios, the cropping, the shutter speed. Like, there is a science behind how all of these things make us feel, right? When you have something that has a very wide angle, then you're closing everything top-wise to make it wider. And so you can see a lot more, but then it becomes a bit more intimate as you hone in. And then when you have these tighter frames, but it's more like 4:3, you can see a lot of the world up and down, and there's less stretching in there. So where it's like, all right, we're a bit confined in here. The space is a bit more intimate between these two characters, but we're also here in the world. And just the exploration of that is something that speaks to how people view the world. Because if you're the kind of person that spends your whole day looking down at the ground and you're very narrow-minded, then that person's going to probably have a very closed view of the world. Whereas the person who looks up and is looking for everything, the way that they look at the world is like, I'm very observant, and they pick up different colors and all these different things. So that's definitely speaks, the visual language speaks to the psychology and how they want people to feel. So I'm glad that you brought that up, because that is something that I love talking about.
Yeah, it's so great, because like it's another one of those things where I don't have the words for it.
Yeah.
But I just know, like, it's just something like what's understood doesn't need to be said type thing.
Yeah.
Where like, but I still kind of want people to say it just so I could like have the knowledge. But like, I don't know what it is about cinematography, but like in how people, like great cinematographers, like do their work, but it like that does take the cake for me.
What do you think of the statement, the audience is stupid? Like, you have to keep it simple for them so they can. Like, what do you think of that? What do you think of that phrase?
I feel like that's a blanket statement.
Yeah.
Because they're obviously people who aren't stupid.
Right.
So it's like, I mean, you can't please everybody. So like, I heard Christopher Nolan talk about that when he was making Tenet, and he just said F it. Like,
right.
As far as people like trying to understand it, like if you don't get it, then you don't get it, but if you do, you do type thing.
Right.
So like, I feel like the audience is stupid. One, that's just like kind of mean. But like,
well, no, but it's not really supposed to be me. It's supposed to be like we as filmmakers see things in our head, and even though we understand it, they might not. And so
there's some truth to that,
right? So you have to
truth,
basically make a movie like you're like just like they say you haven't learned something until you can teach it to a 5th grader or a 5-year-old. It's just like the same thing. You make a movie, but you're not communicating well unless everybody can understand it at least. That's really what they mean when they say the audience is stupid. Like you have to really be clear about what you're showing on the screen.
Well, with that, it's
without any context, it reads a different
well,
way. But that's
it's
really the
like
context.
That's kind of like with like reading a book. So it's like when you read. Oh wait, is that? Okay, so like when you read, it's like, yeah, there might not be pictures in the book, but that gives you the freedom to visualize it how you want to visualize it. And same thing with like movies and dialogue. You might not understand what somebody might be trying to say, or like a certain camera movement that you might not understand, or that you might not understand the director's direction. But it's like at that point you have to have like, I guess, the awareness to like leave it up to your own imagination and like not just put so much pressure on the director, because you got to understand he or she is not making it for you to like understand like right away. Like sometimes it might take a second watch or something like that, or a third watch or something like that.
Quentin Tarantino is the king of that too.
Yeah.
Like, he throws something in there and you're like, why is this here?
Yeah.
And then it comes back and you're like, hold up, I gotta rewind that.
And then you appreciate it
and
more,
then,
right?
Exactly, yeah.
And it's like that lack of appreciation definitely comes from having the ability to like, or to teach it to a 5th grader in like that case. So, I mean, is the audience stupid? I mean, personally, I don't think so, but do they want to be coddled? Yes. So
I agree with that.
I think the dynamic has definitely changed, from, filmmakers and audiences, because film is a visual medium that's been around only about 100 years, compared to writing, which has been for who knows how long. And I think at a point people were like, they couldn't fathom, all these new techniques of like cinematography and filmmaking. So like a lot of things went over people's heads. Like take for example, like cult films, those films that came out in the 40s and in the 50s, there's plenty of films that went over people's head, but because those filmmakers were ahead of their time and they were thinking of these cinematography techniques, and people were just like, what? Like, But now that we're at a point where audiences now engage more with films and they think twice about what they're watching, I think they are much more aware of that. But that's a great point that you say, that like they still want to be coddled. They still want something familiar. They still want something that they can follow along. So like Tenet, I think, but what I think it's still a great movie in terms of business, because maybe right now people won't get it, but I really think Tenet is gonna be like a cult classic. People are like years down the line, it's gonna get forgotten. People right now are gonna be like, this movie did not make any sense to me. But then, give it 20, maybe 30, 40, 50 years, I don't know.
They're gonna be like.
But then people, those generations, they're like, oh my God, this guy.
Nolan is genius.
Like,
I would say so. I love Christopher
making
Nolan.
movies about the past, the future.
He goes so hard though.
I've never heard something like that. So Christopher Nolan
hard.
definitely deserves his claps for that. He's gonna get that respect that he always wanted from that movie. I don't know if he was looking for any, but
I don't think he was.
Probably not. He was just like, I want to do this. He crashed a dang plane.
All the way. I still haven't seen Tenet all the way through.
Really?
Still have not.
The plot twist at the end is
I was on a plane. I was flying on a plane, and I think I chose to watch like a kid movie, and the person like in the aisle like right here to me was watching Tenet, and so I just watched part of Tenet until I fell asleep watching this movie, and I woke up and I just saw some more stuff, and I was like, all right. I got back to the States, I started watching a breakdown of Tenet on
The
YouTube.
breakdown.
And then I was just like, all right, cool, I'll watch another video right now because I don't want the ending to be spoiled. And so I just kept it moving. But and I kind of want to get more into how you see things, your vision as a director, because I know we got it on a tangent talking about all this stuff. But Christopher Nolan, time has always been such a large, like, it's been one heck of a motif in all of his films. If you listen to any of the scores that he has in his films, there's a ticking clock in the scores. If you haven't, I've watched so many breakdowns of Christopher Nolan's films because he used to be my favorite director until I've switched multiple favorite directors like Steven Spielberg, Quentin Tarantino. I think after Tarantino it was Christopher Nolan, and now it's like Matt Reeves.
That's what I could never
Matt
say
Reeves
one
and
favorite.
Guillermo del Toro. So I got like those two right now, and I can't wait for the Batman to come out. But time has always been such a motif with Christopher Nolan, and so to bring it back to you, do you find any motifs or things that you bring back into your every film, like things that you include in every film when you're making it?
You see, it's funny you brought that up. I was trying to do that, and that's what kind of pissed me off with this. Oh shucks.
Or say it with your chest.
Yeah.
Either
so,
way, either one.
Yeah. So it's funny you bring that up because I was trying to do that with like all of my movies that I've made so far, but with just like objects. So one thing that I realized with like Tarantino films is that he always had red apple cigarettes.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
From Reservoir Dogs till Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that has been the cigarette brand. Now he did that because he didn't want to pay like a company. He didn't want to pay like Marlboro or like Camel or something like that. So he just like made up his own thing, but it has gone through many different worlds.
Oh yeah.
And I found that so cool, and I was trying to do that with one, I had these like pair of shades that like it was just like something small, but like it was there. If you were paying attention, like you would see it. But and another thing was shameless plug. 5114 Collective is my clothing brand, and so like I drop like periodically, but that's another point. So I would have like little accents of 5114 Collective just like sprinkled in like throughout my movies. So it will be like super subtle. So for instance, like in this last one, I Dream of Paradise, there is a scene where I'm walking on the beach, and I had dropped my bike down, took off my mask, and on the back of my heels, on the back of my black Vans, you would see 5114. And it was just like small accents like that would like kind of transcend through different like movie worlds. If that makes sense. So yeah. I forgot the question.
No, it's just, do you have any motifs? And that's one of the ones, like, instead of, like, for Nolan, it's a concept, time.
Yeah.
For you, it's, and you pull inspiration from Quentin Tarantino, it's an object, it's an item.
Brand.
It's a brand. So I think you did pull that. And what would you say the significance of having that motif? Or is it just to brainwash your audience into buying your gear? Because if that's the case, you need to give yourself a huge plug, not just a shameless.
So,
you gotta tell them to get your stuff.
So it is like I will say this. Yes, it like a little bit of that was like trying to plug, my clothes or whatever. But my goal was to like have 5114 Collective eventually like play a role in the concept of a movie.
Okay.
So you might see it, like I said, you might see it like on the back of like my shoe or like on my shoe heels or whatever. And there was another scene where, cause like I have 5114 written all over my room. Like my mom gets on my she gets on my bumper like, dude, erase this. So like I'll write it like how that like light or
the
that
light
light
switch.
switch. Yeah, I've written like 5114 Collective on that just to like remind myself like what I'm working for.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So like you'll see those little accents, but like as I like develop, I want 5114 to end up being something that's like a real a real like piece in the movie, or like a real just has like a real heavy role, whether for good or for bad, or for better or for worse. I just don't know how I would like put it in there, but I know I'm gonna put it in there like sooner or later.
Well, we do have you here for a few more minutes. I want to kind of move over from your ideas in film to your ideas in freelancing work. So, from what I know, you are a photographer, you are a videographer.
Yes.
How do you pursue that? How do you approach that? You know, are those types of ideas, that mindset, does it carry over as well to freelancing work?
Absolutely. Now, it's like it's a different game, because like I have to understand that I have to move a little bit slower with the movies, just for my sake.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the last one, I kind of like totally botched that theory because I did it in like 2 weeks. But like for the most part, I want to move like methodically. Yeah, methodically, and just like really make sure it's good. Whereas like with photography, like I'm just like spraying and praying. Like I'm not gonna
like that
like,
though.
I'm not
really
gonna hold you, because
to
like,
be honest, the technology.
Starting out, I was taking pictures of everything in my house. Like I got a camera for Christmas. I remember it like it was yesterday. Nikon D31, Nikon D31 had the kit lens, and I was literally taking pictures of anything and everything in my house, right? And so, like, a lot of them were trash, like, naturally. But, like, I knew I just had to keep shooting. Because, like, I found it interesting because it was kind of like a correlation between, like, me and basketball, because I love playing basketball.
You and I have the same story.
Really?
I used to play basketball. I got my camera. Then I was a photographer and a director.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But,
You and I.
yeah, so, like, I would literally spend, like, hours in the gym just, like, shooting. And, like, football was my main sport, but, like, I always liked playing basketball. But there was always a correlation there. Like, as I've gotten older and just, like, started to think about my thought process, there was always a correlation there. And so my thing with that is don't be, like, I wasn't afraid of doing stuff for free because, like, one, I've always kind of been, like, a businessman type thing. So, like, I always knew, like, if you want somebody to know about you, like, do it for free. Like, that was always something that, like, my dad kind of instilled in me. Because if you go out just, like, putting out a price, then that's going to turn off a consumer.
Yeah.
So, like, for me, one thing, because I take a lot of basketball photos, one thing I would do was, like, it was basically an investment. I would go, because there was a really big tournament complex called Lake Point up in Cartersville. And I would pay about $20 for a ticket. And I would be there for hours just taking pictures of teams for free. Like, no one asked for it. And I would have my business cards on me, too. And so every picture I took, I'd be like, yo, like, I got a picture of you. Like, here's my card. Like, DM me.
Mm-hmm.
And I would literally sit there for hours, right?
It goes so hard.
So, like, I would do that. What else? Like, just taking pictures of my friends for free, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And
Build the portfolio.
yes.
You're building the portfolio. That's why you say it's an investment. Do it for free so you can build your portfolio.
And another thing was, I just liked it.
True that.
And like, before I knew I could make money, I just liked taking pictures. So I like it was second nature.
Right.
But once I knew I could make money, I was like, all right, we gotta do
out
something.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I started getting good at it, I was like, okay, now I gotta start charging people. Because now it's like, I'm still like understanding, or still like trying to understand that like my time is money. So like, if you want me there, you know what I'm saying? Like, because now I'm at a point where like I'm like pretty good. I'm nowhere near where I'm trying to be like at all, but like
People are reaching out.
yeah, I'm getting a lot more looks than I thought I would. So I'm starting to understand that like my time is like valuable,
Mm-hmm.
but I won't hesitate to just like buy a ticket for a local high school game and just take pictures of the whole team and then like DM the whole team. Like I would do that too. So like I would get a client, and which was really just a friend, and so like I would take pictures of them for free, but while they're in the layup lines, I'm taking pictures of the other dudes too. And yeah, that's basically how I built the
That's knowledge right there. He dropped knowledge. Just invest.
do stuff for free
And
Do
love
not
love
be-
what you're doing.
This is true too. love what you're doing, and if you're trying to get a bag off it, do it for free, because you'll turn off a lot of people. Because like, one, people don't know you, so it's like you don't want to give people something to lose, like betting on someone who like they don't really know. So if you give them that opportunity that, oh, if it sucks, then at least it was free. But then you surprise them and you give them a good photo. Now it's like, well, that's something worth paying for.
Customer retention. That'll get you customer retention. They'll come back if you do it a good time. If you do it good the first time, and it's like, oh, we know we can use this guy again. My only problem with that, because I'm a businessman as well. Yeah. My only problem with that is people are gonna expect you to do it for free. So you need to be clear. It's like, look, you gotta be very clear. It's like, I do it free the first time. Say that. Yeah. And be clear about that. I do it free the first time, and then go from there. Like pick a number, pick your rate from there. But do not ever as an artist allow somebody to assume that you're going to do it for free, because then they're going to take you for granted. They're going to take your time for granted, and we need to get out of here.
Even if they the homies too.
Even if they the homies, especially if they the homies, because you got to see them.
They support you. They gotta be paying.
That's also a lack of respect too.
Right there.
They're just looking at you like, oh, he's just here.
Yeah, that's the biggest tip of the day I heard today. Be upfront. Tell people what you're looking for. Tell people, be upfront. Don't talk specifics after something has been done. Definitely that part. Always be upfront. Talk about your expectations, because your client is going to be telling you their expectations. So you, as a freelance, got to put up your expectations too.
And that's how you become a better business person, right? So yeah, that's like the blueprint right there.
Well, we are out of time, but I appreciate the conversation, because there was a lot to be said in these. This was great. In this half hour.
I'm so hyped now.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Kollin, for coming by and speaking your truth, your wisdom.
We appreciate you.
We do.
Sure. I actually really like doing this. I would do this again. Yes. I wish I had more time to be honest with you. This daggum 5 o'clock is killing me.
I feel like we can bring you back in for another episode at some point.
Talk about films. Talk about cinematography. Yeah. I'm here. But this one was for you to talk your stuff.
So real quick before we close out, please once again tell the people who you are, what you do, where they can reach you.
So, like I said, my name's Kollin Washington. That's Kollin Washington. You can find me on Instagram at __Kollin, KOLLIN. My photography page, KollinWashington.com or KollinWashingtonPhotography.com. My clothing brand, 5114 Collective. That's at 5114 Collective on Instagram as well.
Are you gonna make sure we get some clothing so we can wear in the promotional content? You gonna get us?
I gotta come up. I've been making stuff for like a while.
So you gonna make sure you gonna put some new sandals on my feet. You gonna put us in some swag so that we can at least promote your brand.
Maybe you can throw some. I'll wear the shirt.
Well, you know we looking for sponsors now.
Medium, maybe large.
You know we looking for sponsors now.
That's something off camera. We'll talk off camera.
I'm trying to get him to. I'm trying to close this deal on the call so we can get this merch.
Well, that's it for today.
We'll work on that. We'll work.
That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all for tuning in, and be on the lookout for our next episode. Wherever we post, make sure to support us and let us know if you're an AUC visual or oral creator. That is either visual or audio. I don't know. You a puppeteer? You like to paint? You a sound designer? You I don't know, a music designer? I'd like to get more audio people and more people outside of arts. Yeah. But
we've been really pushing for music.
Come out to all you creatives. Come out to our show. Thank you so much.
Goodness.
This is the Creative Corner Podcast.
And I am your host, Anthony J. Hunter, the Wolf, and this is
JC. It's just Chris.